I don't believe in man, God, nor the devil. I hate the whole damn human race, including myself. I preyed upon the weak, the harmless, and the unsuspecting. This lesson I was taught by others. Might makes right.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults,
and Beer.
And beer. And damn, we had a good weekend.
Yes, we did.
We were at Crimecon in Orlando.
Yes, much fun.
A lot of fun. We met we met quite a few podcasters, and we have we have 4 tentative collabs coming up. There's only one that I'm 100% sure about, but I'm pretty sure about the other ones too. You know, I'm probably like 80 to 90% sure of the other ones. So, but yeah, the one that I'm sure about is True Crime Kent.
Yes.
We basically spent the nights hanging out with them at Smoky Bones.
Yes.
And just on Friday night, they did a live taping of some of the weirdest shit that you'll ever see. They recorded it, so I'm pretty sure it'll be out on their feed at some point.
Right.
And then the second night was just a hangout and stuff, and they came up with the most. We had pictures taken with them and all that stuff, but they had the most interesting merch idea.
Indeed.
And you can in my video feed, you can kind of see it at the top, like right above my banner, because I mounted it on the wall. But Todd, you've got yours right next to you. Go ahead and show that.
I do. It's a soup set that was autographed by them.
Hell yeah!
And I got the tray too. You got True Crime Kent and the Op.
Yeah,
that's cool, man. That's totally worth it. And to think that I didn't even want to go there.
Yeah.
Boy, would I be kicking myself now.
Well, you're an introvert. We forgive you.
That is true.
Anyway, that's Todd.
And that's Bill.
And I'm drinking Bud Light.
And I'm drinking rum and coke out of powdered blue sippy cup.
Powdered blue sippy cup.
Which didn't make it to the con, unfortunately. I didn't think about it till I was already there. I should have brought powder blue to the con.
Somebody brought a powder blue sippy cup.
Somebody brought a powder blue. I saw it. Yeah, Bill took a picture of it and showed it to me. I'm like, somebody else has got a powder blue.
but yeah, we made some really really cool people. One of the people that we have a tentative. True Crime Kent's pretty much a big dog. I would call them like on the second to the top rung. They do it that's what they do for a living. That is their job. So I would say they are their top dog.
Yeah.
But one of the other one of the other tentative ones that we have is like a big time OG top dog. They've been around for like 6 years. I'm not gonna name drop or anything like that because I don't want to jinx it. But
yeah, don't do that.
But you'll know if it happens, and I hope it does because that would be really good for us.
Yes, it would.
So, trying to think of anything noteworthy that happened other than I got charged $24 for a bottle of water.
Yeah.
But, and so one of the people that was part of TCK's entourage, a pipe burst above them, and they were woke up at about 3 or 4 in the morning, and it was raining in their room.
Oh, crap.
I'm not sure who it was, but they posted it on that private page for the for the meetup. They posted a video of it. Water's just gushing out of the ceiling.
Oh man.
Mm.
You know, for as expensive as that place is, they had a lot of little issue things going on. I mean, I'm not going to bash them because,
Well, I mean, I just hope that they treat them better than they treated me about that triple charged water.
Yeah.
That pissed me off. The woman that I was talking to last night about it, she was like, "Oh, come back tomorrow. Manager will be here." Oh.
Shit.
And so I get there this morning. And there was somebody. All she did was pass the buck to get me out of there.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm not a Karen, but it's bad enough that I have to pay $8 for a bottle of water, but then to be charged for 3 of them when I only got 1.
Well, they knew you were going to refill it, so they charged you for.
And we were making jokes about them charging to refill it.
Yeah. See, there's a problem right there. We shouldn't have done that.
But yeah, they just wanted me out of their face. And then this morning they flat out told me no. So I'm just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that good of water. I mean, when you're charging the same for a beer as you do for bottled water, that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, I get it on the beer. Everybody gouges you on beers these days, but water should not cost the same as a beer.
Well, dude, it's water. It shouldn't cost anything.
Yeah, true.
Just saying. What the hell do I know? I'm not a businessman.
Anyway, enough ado about my water. The water broke me.
The water broke you.
See what I did there?
Yes, I saw what you did there. I got it.
Anyway, I was kind of stressing out because, here it is, like the weekend, we had just released Panzram Part 1, and I did not have I hadn't even started on Panzram Part 2. But
I think I'm rubbing off on you.
No, because I got it all done today in just a few hours. So
yeah,
it took me about 6 hours. Like,
I'll get you fucking procrastinating just like me. One day, maybe, if I can ever fix my headphones. But yeah.
So okay,
where did we leave off?
We left off. He was 19 years old, and he had just gotten released from Leavenworth. And he had just had this horrible upbringing of abuse and everything. Just about everybody on the planet that he came in contact with was raping him. Every man that he came in contact with was raping him.
Yeah.
And it's just, Carl Panzram never stood a chance. And he joined the military, and he got kicked out. He got sent to Leavenworth for several years for selling army uniforms, which it's theft of army material, but that was a little rough. And the person that sent him there was William H. Taft, the man who would become president.
Yes.
So when we left off, he had just been released from Leavenworth, and we're going to pick up right there. So
outstanding.
And then part 3 will be part 3.
Yes.
So at 19 years old, Carl Panzram had just been released from Leavenworth, and he was on a mission. Create as much havoc as possible and punish humanity for the brutal life that he had up until that point.
All right.
The first place that he went was Denver. And I'm sure after today, Denver is going to be referring to the Miami Dolphins as Carl Panzram. After that 70-20 ass whooping they put on him.
Right.
70 points.
Damn.
That's 10 touchdowns.
Yeah. Holy shit.
The most bored guy on the team was the punter. The Dolphins only punted one time,
Oh, well,
and that was like in garbage time toward the end of the game.
I'm sure he still got paid the same though.
Yeah, I want to be an NFL punter for a really good team.
Right? Just make sure you get paid.
Yeah, and not in bottled water either. But, but Carl never admitted that he was gay, but it was pretty obvious that he was. But the truth of it was he was bisexual. He had plenty of reasons why he preferred men to women, but he frequently said that women were unclean. And on the way to Denver, he raped a female hobo. And as far as we know, this isn't the only time that he ever had sex with a woman. He does from time to time, and that happens in this episode.
Okay.
So put a knife in that.
All right, I will.
By the time he got to Denver, his dick was sore and leaking pus and blood.
Oh shit.
He referred to it as a first case class of gonorrhea. And he had to go to a doctor about this, and the doctor is probably the only person that he went to that he didn't rape. That we know of. I don't. So while in Denver, he got arrested for stealing a bike. And he was sent to jail for, a short sentence. But there was a 50-year-old safecracker there who was serving a long sentence for bank robbery. Carl became friends with this man because, and this man showed him, he started to show him the art of safecracking.
Okay.
So, and there is an art to that.
There is.
Carl protected the man while he was in jail with him, and this time, at this point, Carl was actually behaving in jail.
Oh,
that's different. But he was trying to accomplish something. He wanted to learn how to crack safes.
I see. Yeah.
But like I said, it was a short sentence, and he was released rather quickly. So take a guess at what he did next.
I'm guessing he tried to rob a bank or crack some safes or something. I don't know.
Nah, there's no way you would have gotten this one. He broke back into the jail.
What?
He hadn't finished his safe cracking lessons. So he broke back in.
He broke into jail?
He broke into jail. I think that's a first.
Possibly.
I don't think.
I bet it's easy to break into jail because they're not looking for people trying to get in. They're looking for them to get out.
True. But and as luck would have it, he was put back into the cell with his safe cracking mentor.
Oh.
But then
that was lucky.
But that man made a mistake.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. That man took Carl breaking back into jail as this sweet little 19-year-old loves, he likes me.
Yeah.
So he tried to have sex with Carl, who snapped and beat the crap out of him. And the man avoided Carl, and a month later Carl was released again. So he had broken back into jail for nothing.
Yeah.
Because that happened on the first day that happened on the first day that he was back in jail.
So he didn't get any more safe cracking lessons.
Nope, because the guy was avoiding him because, number one, he's probably embarrassed about how he tried to seduce Carl.
Yeah.
And also he's just like, okay, well, this guy fucking kicked my ass really hard, so I don't think I want to mess with this guy. I'll just stay over here in the corner and do origami.
Do origami.
So,
shit.
So, he went back to drifting, raping, church robberies, and church burning. And
As
speaking
you do.
Speaking of his church activities, a friend of ours who we haven't heard in a while sent us a message.
Yes.
Flaccid Jizzless, the Norwegian black metal tambourine man. He first came on episode 14, our episode on the Norwegian black metal. He doesn't believe that you need any instruments other than a tambourine. And I'm telling you, nobody plays tambourine like that guy.
No,
Nobody. And but Flaccid, his name's Flaccid Jizzless, and he sent us some songs before, and he also, whenever we have like a WWE style promo thing or whatever, like when we did Killdozer versus the Front Loader, he provided the percussion for that, and I put guitar over the top of it. And he sent us a couple. He sent us the last time that he was on this show, he was on the Sid and Nancy episode, and he gave us his version of Anarchy in the UK, which was fucking awesome.
Right? Hell yeah!
Tambourine solo.
Man, I think I did a pretty good Flaccid Jizzless right there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Anyway, he didn't appreciate the audacity of us. I mean, we pissed him off.
Yeah, we did.
But he didn't, he didn't appreciate the audacity. I was doing so good. I was doing good. I thought maybe I could get through an episode without me getting tongue-tied. Apparently not.
It'll happen eventually.
One day. And then as I'm saying, my closing statement, I'll get tongue-tied on it.
Right. All the way at the end.
Yeah. He didn't appreciate the audacity of us saying that Carl might have burned more churches than the Norwegian black metal bands did. And he sent us a diss track that he made towards Carl Panzram.
Oh, yeah.
So, roll it.
There it goes.
Black metal better than Panzram. Black metal better than Panzram. More churches burned than Panzram. More churches burned by black metal bands. Panzram thinks he's a scary man, not as scary as black metal bands. Panzram stole a candlestick. Black metal used him as a wick. Panzram glares through scary eyes. Black metal screams with scary cries. I will not eat green eggs and ham. I will not eat them Carl Panzram.
And we're back. Hope you enjoyed that.
Yes.
Yeah, he don't like Carl.
No, he don't.
No, and he apparently doesn't like green eggs and ham either.
No. Who does like green eggs and ham? I will not eat them, Sam I am.
No, me either. I will not eat them at a desk. I will not eat them. I got nothing.
I know. You went with desk, and it's like, dude, how are you going to rhyme that one?
Because I'm sitting at a desk. I'm sitting at a desk right now.
I got you.
Yeah. So.
But you know what, though?
I could have gone deck.
Yeah. I do not like green eggs and ham. I will not eat them. Bill I am.
Thank you, Flaccid.
Yes, thank you. Anyway.
We love Flaccid. We love the artist, the musician Flaccid.
Yeah. And we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
His next destination was the Kansas State Fair, Plano, Kansas.
Plano, Kansas.
There, he got a job with Colonel Dickey's Wild West Show.
Colonel Dickey's.
Colonel Dickey's Wild West Show. I'm picturing it as like a knockoff of Buffalo Bill's Wild West Show.
With a name like Colonel Dickey's, it could be anything.
It could be. But he was hired to do, he was hired by the show because the Colonel, he saw Carl in a brawl.
In a bra?
Brawl. BRAWL.
Brawl. Okay.
He's not BTK.
Well, you never know. Maybe he wanted to be a lumberjack.
That's funny because put a knife in that.
Okay.
Oh man. But he was he was hired because he was hired to handle the animals because of his strength, and this was actually Carl's first legit job, and the other workers didn't like him showing them up.
Well, yeah.
So Carl was fired because he had brawled with just about everybody, every other worker there.
Okay.
But it was them starting it. Hey, I don't appreciate you, doing your job.
Doing your job right. Yeah. Doing your job right. Can't have that.
I'm going to kick your ass. Who was that? That was Boonhelm.
Probably.
Yeah, it was Boonhelm. But
okay, which one was Boonhelm? Was the one with the horse, right?
Yeah, the cannibal.
Yeah, the one with the horse, and then Bone Mazel was
the cool guy that wasn't a serial killer, that wasn't a murderer at all.
Yeah,
he was just a crazy Florida cracker.
Yeah,
the OG Florida cracker.
The OG Florida man.
One of many.
Or was William Cottrell the original Florida man? I forget.
I think Cottrell probably was.
Yeah, I know we said it on whichever one it was.
I think we said it on both of them. I think we might have even said it. I might have even said it on the Ashley episode too.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I did.
they were all back in that time. So.
Yeah. So.
Anyway.
So but what ultimately got him? I mean, it was just the fact that that if he kept doing that, he was going to get fired. But what ultimately, got him fired was basically a scene right out of Blazing Saddles.
Uh-oh.
He wasn't farting around a campfire.
Okay.
He didn't build a fake town. Oh, wait,
right.
that was Three Amigos. That wasn't Blazing Saddles.
No, that was Blazing Saddles.
It was both of them then.
They didn't build a fake town in Three Amigos. They made a bunch of Three Amigos costumes.
That's right.
And the whole town dressed up as them. But yeah, no, and
they no. What had happened was because he was hired to work the animals, and the animals were basically the breadwinner. What made all the money on the show and everything. Without animals, you don't have a Wild West show.
No, you don't.
But a horse bumped into Carl hard.
And he knocked the horse out.
Yes.
I was thinking that's where it was going when you said it wasn't this and it wasn't that. And I'm like, dude, the only other thing you could get in any kind of was knocking out a horse.
Yeah, he just punched the shit out of the horse. Now, that may have, we speculate whenever something like this comes up, that may have been Mel Brooks' inspiration. He might have read this story and was like, I'm going to put that in my movie.
Yeah, right. Mongo love candy.
It's ironic that Blazing Saddles comes up 2 weeks in a row in the same series.
Yeah, right.
But well, it was digression in part one. It was it was related to the story in part two. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, Carl Panzram was a lot of things, but one thing he wasn't was the type to not take being fired personally. So he jumped on the show's train and hid until the next stop. He then waited late at night. And then when everybody was asleep, he stole a barrel of oil and doused the cook's tent, and he doused the horse's tent with oil and then lit them on fire.
The horses didn't. Okay, well, the one bumped it, but he knocked that one out. He got back at him, dude. Why's he killing the horses for?
Because he got fired.
Yeah, but the horses had nothing to do with him getting fired.
But then he went up to the top of a hill and he found, he watched the carnage with a grin on his face, and none of the animals survived, and the show was obviously done at that point. Because like I said, without the animals, you ain't got a show.
I mean, if you don't have horses, it's kind of hard to do a Wild West thing.
Be like us trying to do a remote podcast without microphones. Notice I said remote.
Yes, I noticed you said remote.
Because we were podcasting without mics long before podcasting was a thing.
Yes, we were. Those were the days. Yep, true story.
Wish we had thought about recording it back then.
If only we had known.
Yep. So, then he jumped on a train and headed to St. Louis. The Illinois Central Railroad Company was on strike when he got there.
Oh. All right.
And there were picket lines all over the place causing commotion, and that made Carl sick. But there were recruiters for the company. They saw Carl and they offered him a job as a blackleg. Do you know what that is?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, I didn't either. But a blackleg is basically muscle that was hired to rough up the striking employees.
Okay.
And these blacklegs would be paid in cash, and Carl would have done that for free.
I know, right? So you mean I'm allowed to, and nothing's going to happen to me if I beat these people up?
And I'm going to get paid?
And I get paid? Shit.
You wouldn't have even had to mention money. I would have just said, you want me to beat those guys up? Fine, I'll go beat them up.
Yeah, right?
So,
now that you mention money, you better fucking pay me or you're next.
Oh, you're next. But he quickly became the leader of the Blacklegs, obviously.
Oh,
of course he did.
Yeah, you think?
But he and the other Blacklegs, they stopped the protests. It worked.
Well,
but he was loving it. He was loving it and everything. But then all of a sudden, the job was over. So, but once again, Carl had just done his job too well.
Yeah.
He was well paid, but he wrapped it up really quick.
Yeah, right. he probably didn't expect it to end like that.
No. But and everybody in town hated him because of his tactics in his job, and they were all trying to measure themselves against him by picking fights with him. That was fun for him a while, while it lasted, for a little while, but he got bored with it.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, but so he went back out on the road. He went back out on the road with the company of a young boy.
Oh, all right.
He had a little boy with him.
I'm assuming this is not
This is not platonic.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm assuming this is not like Din and Grogu.
No. This is not the way.
This is not the way. Anyway.
So Carl was frugal with money, and he carried it with him. And he didn't really care for riding in trains anymore because of the fact that he had lots of money on him. But if he did hop on a train and there were hobos in it, he'd just simply wait till the train was moving and throw them out.
And throw them out.
Like what had been done to him when he was 14, remember?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So, he was thinking about cutting his companion loose, but he didn't. Not at this point.
At this point.
While on the trains, he would just take shots at people and cattle that were near the train as they were going by. Just bang, bang.
Okay.
It's not known if he killed anybody during that. But he was now in Jacksonville, Texas, and yes, Texas has a Jacksonville, apparently.
All right.
I was not aware of that.
I was not either.
So I've never been there.
That's unusual that you have not been to a place that we talk about. Because I was waiting for your story. Like, I drove through that place one time.
No, I did not even know that that Texas had a Jacksonville until I wrote these notes today.
Until about 4 hours ago.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? There's another football tie-in. Texas, as of today, has a Jacksonville because the Houston Texans whooped the shit out of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's kind of ironic how that tied in there like that.
Yeah, that is. Duval.
But they're in Jacksonville, Texas. He and his companion, they were caught breaking into the town hall. His guns were confiscated, and he and his companion were sent to a roadwork crew. And the crew's boss liked Carl's young boy, and he took him for himself. And, well, let's just say Carl didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, I could imagine him not enjoying that at all.
But there are 6 armed men guarding the boss.
So what are you going to do?
Yeah. So Carl never flew off the handle over this, and after 40 days his sentence was up, but the boss refused to let him go.
Row, Raggy.
Because, Carl Panzram was a lot of things, but one thing he wasn't was a bad worker.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently he has a very strong work ethic.
Yep. So that night he tried to escape and he was caught. And he was punished for attempted escape, even though legally
he was like, released.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Not supposed to be here today. Oh, Kevin Smith, you knew it was going to happen sooner or later, bro.
It just worked.
I did.
But his punishment was the snorting pole.
The what?
The snorting pole.
Snorting pole?
Snorting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a 12-foot pole with a rope tied to the top of it, and then the bottom of it was connected to handcuffs.
Okay.
Yeah, and Carl was stripped naked, hoisted up, and then whipped with whips that had lead weights embedded into the tips of them. They whipped him for like nearly an hour, and the pole was called the snorting pole because of the sounds that inmates would make while being, abused on it.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Carl didn't make a sound.
No, he perfected that bit.
Yeah. And when he was released, rather than slumping down and falling over like most people did, he stood firm at attention. And
God damn, dude.
Yeah.
Just the
intestinal fortitude that it takes to be able to do that.
Yeah, the mental fucking toughness it takes to, like, dude, and he was hurt. He would never admit it, but he was hurt.
He was hurt bad.
But dude, just to sit there and just the whole, like, I hate to say it like this, but the whole, like, just mind over matter thing, like, dude, I am not letting them win. I don't give a fuck how bad it hurts or whatever. You know what I mean, dude? That's something, bro. That's.
And it keeps coming up in part 2. And I'm sure it comes up in part 3 as well.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
But, the boss started making fun of him, and Carl just glared at him with his death look. Did you see that picture that I sent of you of him in your phone?
I did not. When did you send it?
I sent it yesterday, but it should be one of your. I sent it this morning.
Is it a text message or a Facebook?
It's in Messenger. Just take a look at that guy's mugshot.
All right. Holy crap.
Yeah, if he was looking at me like that, I think I'd probably back off too.
Good Lord. All right. That puts a whole new spin on or perspective on things there. Holy shit, that guy's a fucking animal.
Yeah. and
Damn.
I realized that I hadn't shown you a picture of him. So I was just like, okay, you got to see what this dude looks like.
And you also knew too that I wouldn't look him up myself. So
yeah, exactly. Just kind of like you set up your studio today.
Yeah, well, you know,
it looks just like your dining room.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens, isn't it? Well, see, you caught me off guard, dude. I wasn't expecting to record tonight. I
wasn't either. I'm surprised that I got these notes done as quickly as I did, because it took me several days to get part 1 done. But I was just on a mission. I just sat down. I had the game on one screen, and I had and I had it muted, and I was just just looking up from time to time,
right.
and just kind of just if there was ever a game to do that on, it was today's game, 70 to 20.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's not like it's an edge of your seat, nail biting, suspense filled game.
Yeah.
The only question was, are they going to break 100?
Yeah, right. Are they going to go past 100? Let's hope so, or not, or whatever. But yeah, dude, that had to have been that was not a good game to watch, I don't think.
Yeah, it was if you're a Dolphins fan.
Well, dude, I think even if you're a Dolphins fan, you'd be bored. I mean, like after they got like 50 points or something. I mean, whatever. Like, whatever it is. I mean, yeah, no, I know, but I mean, dude, after they were up like whatever, once they got to like 50, you're like, fuck, who cares anymore, dude? Or at least I would be. I'd be like, dude, who gives a shit anymore? They won. If they lose from this, it's their own damn fault.
If they lose, if in the fourth quarter Denver had come back, I might be reconsidering my fandom. But yeah, we love you, Broncos fans. We do.
Yeah, we love everybody.
But you just know how football. It is. It's just football. So they that in Carl's own words, I had blood on my back and murder in my heart.
All right.
So they cut him loose with nothing but his clothes. They kept his guns, they kept his money, and they didn't even give him his boy toy back.
Oh, shit. That's not good.
So Carl survived by robbing chicken coops and eating them and hunting with his bare hands. He did that for several months while he was regaining his composure and all that stuff.
Right.
And there was nothing left other than rage inside him at this point.
I would think not.
Yeah. So he finally found a train yard, and he hopped on a train, and he rode it all the way to Oregon from Texas. That's a long ass train ride.
Oh damn, yeah.
And going like 35 miles an hour, which was probably the top speed back then. Yeah, that took a long time to get there.
All right, now I know we've already discussed this and everything, but when we say back then, like what time are we talking about?
This is the 19. This is probably around 1915.
1915.
Yeah.
All right. I just wondered because I mean I know it started out because he was born in 1891. You said, right?
Yeah.
So okay. But I was just like curious as to like I mean I know
so he's
stopped when he was 19, so that makes it
so he's around 25
1900, 1910. He was not, in 1910 he was 19, right?
Yeah, so he's around 20, 23, 24, 25, something like that.
So the very early 1900s. All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure that I was thinking of things the right way.
Yeah. So, but he robbed and raped all the way from Texas to Oregon, and there in Oregon he became a logger.
Oh, he did want to be a lumberjack,
and he didn't care.
And it's okay.
And he's okay.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day.
So he then went to San Francisco and tried to sell some of the things that he had stolen, and he buried the stuff outside of the city, and then he tried to find somebody to sell the stuff to. He had also stolen a small sailboat. Carl Panzram was a lot of things, but one thing that he wasn't was seaworthy.
Let's see what I was going to say. A sailor. He wasn't a seaman.
No, he wasn't a seaman. But
and we went there with it because why not?
He crashed the boat into some rocks.
He crashed the boat.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But he went into a bar with cash and a pistol. Now, Carl had found some people that he had dealt with in the past just by chance.
Uh-huh.
And none of them wanted anything to do with him.
All right.
But he did find somebody to sell a gold watch that he had to, but as they were walking to get the cash for the watch, he found out that man was an undercover cop.
Oh shit. Yeah.
He was arrested.
Was being the key word here. Oh.
Yeah. He avoided prison by revealing the location of his buried treasure, which I'm sure that the police just did what he was planning on doing with it.
Oh yeah.
Liquidated it.
Yeah, of course. They sold it to raise money for the church.
Yeah. Let's not get Flaccid started again.
Oh yeah. Okay. So they sold it to raise money for whatever school for white boys. Whatever school for white boys was around at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. He had warrants in Oregon and he was extradited back there, even though he avoided going to prison in San Francisco, but we'll just send you back to Oregon.
We'll just send you back to Oregon.
So this guy's been all over the place, but one place that he didn't go was Florida. So, and I'm glad. We've had enough serial killers. Danny Rolling, Ted Bundy, Eileen Wuornos.
Florida has its own problems, man. We got enough problems with it.
Gerard Schaefer. Gerard Schaefer, that's a nasty one. Probably the nastiest one to do Florida. But yeah, even worse than Danny Rolling.
All right.
But
he killed cats, didn't he? That's why you're saying that.
I can't remember if I'm wanting to say he did, but I can't remember honestly. But yeah, he's on our list.
All right. I'm just gonna have to toughen up.
Yeah. And right now, I keep forgetting to do this mid-episode, but the last two episodes that we've done, I put a promo at the beginning of the episode because I forgot to do it during the episode, and I obviously forgot to do it at this one. But I like to do those things mid-episode where we can kind of talk about the podcast that we're promo swapping with a little bit. So I like to do it mid-episode, or if I remembered it, we'd do it during the opening. But I forgot about it. 3 weeks in a row, I forgot it. But at least I remembered it during the episode this time.
This time, yes.
Buried Motives is two ladies, and they discuss true crime. They're a little more clean than we are, if you know what I'm talking about. They don't cuss very much.
I wouldn't think so,
if at all. They're Canadian. We seem to have good rapport with the Canadian podcasts.
I know, right? What's up with that?
Oh, we love you guys, eh?
Yeah, eh? Take off, eh?
But it's called Buried Motives, and I enjoy that. I enjoy their content. I've listened to a handful of their episodes.
Right on.
And go ahead and roll that promo.
Alrighty.
Hey listeners, I'm Christy.
And I'm Melissa, and this is Buried Motives, where we dig deep into the details of some of the most gruesome
Dirtbag murderers. She said she enjoyed hurting things that can't fight back.
Like, if you were only to look at what she did later on and not know any of that history, she would appear like off the wall crazy.
Oh, 100%. She struck him on the back of his head with a frying pan, almost killing him, and was hospitalized for a severely fractured skull.
She fractured his
skull.
Wow. So the movie Tangled was right.
That's
Frying pans
right.
are dangerous.
They are. He feels like he is totally justified in the murder that he commits.
Even after he's convicted, he feels justified.
Oh yeah, to this day.
That's a confident dirtbag right there.
That's right. He believes that his victim had it coming.
Join us each Thursday as we unearth the dirtbags that live among us.
And the motives buried there. Hope you join us as we exhume the truth.
And we're back. Check out Buried Motives. I like them.
Yes.
They're cool. They're cool people. I need to add them and True Crime Kent and several others to the Friends of CKCB page on our website, ckcbpodcast.com.
Yes.
So maybe in part 3 I'll get it during the ado part.
Maybe. But
at least I caught it this time.
Yeah, you did.
Because I don't like to just doing a promo swap, just playing the damn thing. I like to be able to talk about the podcast.
Yeah, no, I know.
So, Buried Motives, check them out. They're great. So in Oregon, he was sentenced to 7 years in the Oregon State Penitentiary. And there he was a pain in the ass to the guards, not literally.
Oh Jesus! All right, it's going that way, yeah.
But he was so strong, and when he got really pissed off, he was able to bend the bars in his cell with his bare hands.
Oh,
and
he didn't have to piss on his shirt, because you said wet shirt do something. You didn't say piss shirt bend bars. No, you said wet cloth don't break. You didn't say piss shirt bend bars.
Yeah, he
Dude, I fucked up the quote from one of my favorite movies. I can't believe that.
I know the movie. I just can't place. I know I've seen the movie. I just can't place what it is.
Was it Shanghai Noon?
Yeah, that's what it was.
The first one. It was the first one, not the second one.
Right. But but rather than escaping, I mean, he got out, but he got out of his cell.
Mm-hmm.
But rather than escaping, he did one of his most infamous stunts. He's done 2 infamous stunts.
All right.
Well, that I can, he may have done more, but if we did, we'll get to them in part 3.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, he's got a really big stunt coming. He's got 2 more really big. With each big stunt that he pulls off, he outdoes the previous one.
All right.
So this one I'm about to tell you about is going to get outdone twice.
Okay, so but this one has to be good though, because of the way you just said.
It's good. It's good.
The way you just said that means that he's gonna up his game.
Oh, this was good. This was good.
Right, I'm ready.
So he ran deep into the prison. He was stuffing rags into every lock of the doors that he come to, so that the guards couldn't open them, and he's beating the crap out of every guard that he encountered. And are these guards not armed with guns? You'd think they just Tuftonium.
I don't know if they're allowed to have guns in a prison.
Yeah, they are.
I don't think they are for the reason that the inmates could steal a gun.
That's true. I don't know.
I don't think they are. I mean, I know if there's something going on, they get all riot geared up. They do now. I don't know how it was back then.
Yeah,
but I can't speak to that.
But still, he was beating the crap out of every guard that he encountered, and then he went into the workshop there, and he lit that place on fire. But the fire didn't burn as fast as he had hoped, and the inmates were evacuated out to the yard until the firefighters were able to put the fire out.
Mm-hmm.
But these fires were harder to fight because of how Carl had jammed the doors.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe he used raspberry.
Raspberry?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
There's only one man who would dare give me the raspberry.
Yeah, you snuck in a really kind of, I don't want to say underhanded, but underhanded Spaceballs reference there.
Yep. He was caught and he was dragged back in. And the prisoners were cheering Carl and mocking the guards. And but Carl was fighting a group of guards all at once and he was winning. But finally they got him subdued and they held him down and they broke both of his ankles with hammers just to keep him still.
Oh, they hobbled him. Oh,
mm-hmm. Yeah. They threw him in solitary and he was forgotten about and he wasn't even fed. And his ankles weren't set so they didn't heal properly.
Oh, shit.
It didn't slow him down though. They did heal.
Of course not.
But then he was taken to a much more brutal prison, the Salem Correctional Facility.
For white boys? I told you that's never going to go away.
I know
it should go away, but it's never going to go away.
Pee Wee Gaskins episode, everybody.
Check it out.
Yeah, but now there's a reason for that. But Salem Correctional was considered to be the toughest non-military prison in the U.S. Because remember, Leavenworth was considered the toughest in the U.S., period. So this is the toughest non-military. But even with his wounds, he wasn't going to show weakness. And his first day at Salem, he filled up his shit bucket and threw it at a guard.
Holy crap, literally. Well, not literally, but you know what I mean.
No, literally.
Well, I mean, not holy though, but you know what I mean.
No. But once again, he was in for a really rough time, and he was beaten unconscious by the guards, and he was chained, like, constantly. But they didn't realize it, but they may have actually done him a favor, and Carl didn't realize this either. But by being chained, that let his ankles heal faster.
Oh, yeah, the shackles around his ankles, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, all right.
But still, every time, every time somebody would walk by his cell, he'd like scream out, "Fuck you! I will kill you!"
Yeah.
So Salem Correctional had a new warden, an ex-police chief named Harry Minto, and he looked at the prisoners as a investment opportunity. This is like the precursor to today's profit prison, where they just like pack everybody in like sardines and everything and overcrowd the prisons.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Most of the people there because they had an ounce of weed in their car.
Yep. So this guy wanted to use these prisoners to test his candies on then, huh?
I'm gonna take you to the painting room, but here I got Mentos, so it's okay.
I got Mentos, so you'll be fine.
Yeah. Those commercials were so stupid.
Yeah.
He looked at prisoners as a way to generate money for the state, and he would cut the costs wherever he felt like it, and he would skim money for himself too. Kind of Shawshank vibes there,
right?
But he cut the prisoner work pay by 2/3, and this money was being paid to the families of the inmates, not to the victims or anything. It was they were earning money, and it was going to their families. So okay. and they just cut that by 2/3. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that ain't right, dude.
Because you got to figure a lot of these, like especially back then, the women didn't work; they'd stay at home with the kids. So if dad's in prison and the only money that's coming in is what he makes, the little bit that he makes when he's in prison, and that gets slashed by 2/3. That's
right.
fucked up. That's
definitely fucked up.
Yeah, but I'm not going to spoil anything for you. I'm going to make you wait.
Make me wait.
But Minto ran the place like a tyrant, and he put a guard named Vinegar in charge of breaking Carl. Vinegar. And he would take the prisoners into a room where he would whip them with a cat of nine tails with steel tips on them, and he would whip them for hours and sing loudly as he did it. Okay. God bless America. My home, sweet home. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Shut the fuck up.
But of course, Carl being Carl, not a sound.
Right.
So, not being able to break Carl, Minto called him into his office to talk to him man by man. He thought that they'd be able to come to an understanding. He was wrong. Carl swore that he would escape. So Minto took Carl to the fire hose room and had Vinegar blast him with the fire hose directly in Carl's face, to the point to where his face swelled up and it swelled his eyes shut. It's right in the face. That's like,
I guess he didn't realize that Mentos and Diet Coke are fairly explosive as well. I mean, it's just foam though. I mean, it wouldn't hurt nobody, but you know what I'm saying.
But
anyway.
But that's just, just like high pressure water, like right in the damn face. And it's just like Carl's just like, he's basically being high pressure waterboarded.
Yeah.
While standing.
Oh no. Back in the day, dude. I mean, it probably still is a thing, dude. But the fire hose used to be an acceptable form of punishment.
Yeah. They then took Carl to a bath that was full of ice water.
Uh-oh.
Carl's like, you got to figure he probably had the shit kicked out of him multiple times. That probably actually felt good to him. Until Vinegar dressed up in a rubber coat, and he grabbed a sponge that was connected to wires which were connected to a battery. And he took his time shocking Carl, but Carl still didn't break. Now, this was called the hummingbird because the noise that it makes sounded like the wings of a hummingbird. Bzzzt,
Yeah.
So, but that's just what they called it. They call it the hummingbird. And I know in torture, I think there's a medieval torture device called the hummingbird too, isn't there?
I don't know.
I don't know either. There might be, there might not be. I don't know. But Carl retaliated by setting fire to the prison workshop. He then grabbed an axe and he chased the guards around. Chased guards around with the axe. And he also grabbed keys off of one of the guards that he beat the crap out of, and he starts letting inmates out.
Oh, sucky. Here we go.
It's like, once again, we're rooting for the guy, even though, at this point, he hasn't killed anybody that we know of. Although we do know that he has attempted at least once.
Yes.
And I'm gonna get to that because there's part of me that says that we know of, like he was probably still doing, like committing murder up until that point and everything. But when we get to his first credited murder, you'll see why I'm like kind of on the fence on whether that was his first murder or not.
Okay.
So, and we're not far away from that. So yeah, he wasn't able to escape, but so he was determined to make Minto's life a living hell.
I'm sorry, that cracks me up every time.
Yeah, they could make a movie based on Panzram, but have him like as somebody that was just like jailed unfairly, like convicted but he was innocent and he goes through all this shit.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think you could make a movie about Carl Panzram though, because I'm doing my best not to glorify the crazy, the crazy things that he does.
Yeah.
But it's hard not to root for him at this point.
It is.
Still, even though he's a serial rapist at this point, a fucking robber, an arsonist, a pedophile.
Yeah.
He's
all the things that you shouldn't be rooting for, but somehow we're still kind of rooting for him.
Yeah, because of the fact that when prison guards and everything, they abuse their authority and all that stuff because they're sick and they're just as sick and sadistic. So it's just like you want to see them get what's coming to them, even if it's at the hands of somebody that's even worse than they are.
Yeah.
Especially
Mento, the fresh maker. Dude, I can't help it with a name like, dude, and the other guy, Vinegar, I've been trying to think of something to fucking go with that, but I just can't. Well, I guess we could have Vinegar, man. That guard's a fucking douche. But that's all I got, really. And I didn't...
Good. No, that's perfect. Douche. He's not going to be in the story much longer, but if he gets mentioned again, which I think he does once or twice, but we'll just call him douche.
All right.
Because he is a douche. That's great. That's fucking great.
Yeah. Especially because he used the fire hose on him, vinegar and water.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I wasn't sure if I should say that or not.
But Mento retaliated by putting Carl in the dungeon, which was an underground room with no lights or windows. And
why do they have names for all these places?
Because they're sick. The painting room.
Yeah, I'm like who sits there and goes, all right, we need to think of a name for this place.
Well, honestly, the painting room, that's just what the kids that were at that reform school for white boys. For
white boys. Oh no, I get that. I'm just saying though, is like, do places like that still exist? Do they have names like that? This whole naming fucking torture rooms is just, you got the painting room, you had the snort stick. The snorting pole or whatever it was called, and now
the dungeon.
And now the dungeon. Dungeon's a little on the nose, but yeah. Anyway.
Well, yeah, it is because it's underground with no windows.
Yeah,
no
but
light.
You know what I mean.
But he was kept there for 63 days, and I'm not even kidding. When I typed that, the Dolphins scored their 9th touchdown right as I was typing that.
Is that what you messaged me? Touchdown, Dolphins?
No, that was their first touchdown.
That was the first one? Okay.
3 minutes into the game.
Well, damn.
But no, they just kicked an extra point, making it 63 points that they had scored.
And oddly enough, he was in that room for 63
days. Yeah. It's weird how football is just kind of working its way in here. And I'm not even forcing it. It's just there.
I know. It's just happening. The amount of coincidence that has occurred in this part of the episode is just...
Oh, I know. This is like the third one where football has been brought up by something that happened in the story.
Yes. Anyway.
But I digress. I haven't
coincidences aside, let's move on, shall we?
Yeah. But he wasn't fed at all during those 63 days, but he survived on roaches and rats.
Okay.
That's
well. I guess you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. But
if you ain't being fed and you have
that's worse than Michael Malloy's sardine sandwiches.
Yeah. But Mike didn't seem to mind him.
No, and well, with Carl, it was just like you got to, like you said, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously has a plan. I mean, he hates everybody. He's out to fucking kill anybody and everybody that he can. So he's going to do what it takes to stay alive, so he can finish his work, basically.
Yeah, it's crazy because he hates himself and he hates everybody else, and it's like he wants to die. He says that he wants to die, but nobody expected Carl to be alive when they opened the door. And and I'm sure that it smelled horrible in there.
That had to be god awful.
Mm-hmm. Because I doubt it had plumbing.
No. Probably not even a bucket.
Yeah. That's just, I can only imagine what he looked like at that time. Obviously, he's thinner. But he's like probably covered with fucking dirt and shit and all that stuff. And probably blood too, because he was eating rats alive.
Yeah.
But, he probably looked like a freaking monster from a slasher movie, like a horror movie or something.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that Jason Voorhees had nothing on him.
But nobody expected him to be alive after they opened the door after 2 months of starvation and darkness. So, after that, he was constantly trying to escape.
Yeah, you think?
This is more gold coming up, and it's like I said, I keep saying it, it's like I don't want to root for him, but it's hard not to.
Oh yeah, it's definitely hard not to.
But
at least right now,
yeah, for right now. But still, I mean, even though he is a serial rapist, a pedophile, a thief, arsonist,
yeah,
an assaulter.
Bad shit's happened to this poor guy. I mean, yeah, I say poor guy, but it is. Yeah, I mean,
well, like we said, it's just like any time where there's a pure, clean cut case of nurture, you feel bad for the person that it happened to. It's just human to kind of feel that way. It's just like, okay, I can see how he wound up like this. But it's also, this guy was a sick piece of shit too.
Yeah. Yes, he was. Yeah. The kitty fiddling thing. That's just, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and he killed a bunch of horses too. He burned them to death.
I hope he gets out because these, yeah. I mean, I'm rooting for him to get out. I ain't gonna lie.
We still got the rest.
Even though he's going to go do more fucking sick shit, but
we got the rest of part 2 and part 3 to go. Then we'll start ragging.
The rest of part 2.
I got 8 pages.
All right, then, let's get a move on. I'll shut up and quit babbling, unless I got something funny to add.
So after that, after he got out of the dungeon, he was constantly trying to escape. And one time he made some hooch, and he got 10 of the fiercest inmates drunk enough to attack the guards.
Oh.
And while doing that, he snuck 6 inmates out of their cells during the fight.
All right.
He also taught inmates how to steal hacksaw blades from the workshop and use them to cut the bars in their cells. Carl had also made to be honest with you, it sounds like if he's helping these other people escape, it seems like he just wants to stay there and torment Minto.
It does. Yeah,
it really does.
He's like an anti-hero at this point.
Almost. Yeah, he just wants to make. Yeah, it's just like, okay, well, like we said in part 1, what can they do to me that hasn't already been done to me, short of killing me? And if they do, and if you do kill me, I won't care because I'll be dead.
If they could kill him, holy shit! I mean, I don't think
they could kill him. Yeah,
I mean, dude, this guy is like literally fucking.
He's
Jason
Michael
Voorhees.
Myers. Yeah,
Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees. They just no matter how much you do to them, they just keep coming.
Yeah. But he also made ropes out of bed sheets, and he used bucket handles as grappling hooks.
Oh,
You fucking MacGyver.
this guy is freaking brilliant, man.
He now actually literally had the entire prison inmate population focused on escape.
Well, they can't catch all of them.
The hummingbird treatment became a daily occurrence for Carl, as well as they made him walk around in circles for hours and hours and hours. Yeah, so they're torturing him daily at this point.
Yeah,
but he's just like
fucked up. But...
He's just like, that all you got? Come on, Father did worse to me than that.
Yeah, right.
Fucking Father. I wish he had gone back for Father.
Yeah, no shit. Should have.
So there was a 21-year-old inmate that Carl liked named Otto Hooker.
Oh God, are these names real?
Yes. I'm going off of a book primarily, but I did search to see if every website that I looked up, Otto Hooker, yeah, that was a real name. It's on every single website that tells his story.
So we got Mento, Vinegar, and Otto Hooker.
Otto Hooker. Damn. He should have just done his time, gotten out, and started a tow truck service.
That's not where I was going with it, but okay. That's good.
Well, an Otto Hooker?
Yeah.
Like,
dude, his name is his occupation.
Yeah, I know.
He's just, especially if Panzram liked him, then he's automatically going to be a hooker and get fucked.
So,
but whatever.
Carl helped him escape. And, he went into the nearest town, there, and while there, he stole a pistol, a gun. An Episcopal priest. No, a gun. Yeah. Mento headed the manhunt, and they tracked him down. They found him, but Hooker had stolen a gun. Hooker made Swiss cheese out of Mento.
Really?
Hooker, Tough, Tony, Mento.
I mean, part of me wants to go nice, but part of me wants to go, that's not it, but yeah, I know, I totally get it. I mean, that guy was a sadistic fucking prick. He was nowhere near the fresh maker that his candy is.
It's spelled Minto, if that helps you.
Oh, it's Minto, not Mento. You're saying Mento.
Another grammar Nazi. But
sorry, I can't help it.
So, but this was the first murder that was attributed to Carl because he helped Hooker escape. And he wasn't charged with the murder, but it was just like, if you hadn't helped him escape, this wouldn't have happened. So,
well, Hooker wouldn't have killed him, but
right. I think Carl would have gotten him at some point. Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that Carl would have killed that man.
Yeah. But 7 years were added to his sentence, and he was sent back to the dungeon. But Carl was sitting there in the dungeon. He's already survived the dungeon once.
Yep.
So he knows what to do. He's apparently developed a taste for rats. I mean, Joe Rogan eats cockroaches, so I mean, that's apparently not as nasty of a thing as we thought it was growing up.
Yeah, right. This is a good burger, man. Look around. Do you see any cows?
You've eaten any? If you've eaten a red gummy bear, you've eaten a cockroach.
This is a rat burger? It's a good rat burger.
Did you hear what I said? If you've eaten red gummy bears, you've eaten a cockroach.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't eat gummy bears, so I don't.
You can look this up. Or any type of like red food dye is made from cockroaches.
Is it?
It is. Somebody told me because I was going through like a real big kick where I was eating like gummy bears all the time and everything. And then somebody told me that. I'm like, you're full of shit. So I Googled it. I'm like, oh.
Don't. The Google is like the best and worst thing to ever happen.
But my reaction to that was more Haribo, please.
Yeah, right. Dude, and okay, when you're talking about the Haribo things, what are the sugar-free ones or the diet gummy bears that they make that give you the shits?
I've never had them.
Yeah, don't, because they probably stopped making them, but I heard about it. It's like, yeah, dude, you eat the diet gummy bears by Haribo. I think sugar-free or whatever they fucking are, but whatever they put in it to make it sugar-free and still taste kind of sweet, give you the shits. Like explosively, like
so.
If you weren't sitting on the toilet while you were eating them, you wouldn't make it.
So it's a good laxative.
Yeah, I mean, I would equate it to putting Visine in somebody's drink.
I've never done that, and I've never had anybody do that to me. Thankfully.
Yeah, no shit.
But
anyway, hashtag we digress on bodily functions there.
Yeah. I won't go there. 7 years were added to his sentence. He was sent back to the dungeon. I already said that. But Carl was happy there because Minto was dead. And I put in here, I'm sure he'd killed plenty of people on his own before this, though. But now I'm, like I said, I'm on the fence, and we'll get there. But speaking of cockroaches, Henry Minto's brother John Minto was made the interim warden.
Just because, or was he like?
He took the position specifically to get revenge on Carl.
So he never had any kind of like.
Oh, I'm sure he was in law. I'm sure he was in law enforcement as well.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, did his brother, or did he just get the job because he was his brother? Like, well, you're his brother. You got to know what he did. Come on.
Yeah. So, like I said, speaking of cockroaches, but in September of 1917, Carl finally escaped. He used a hacksaw blade to cut the window bars in his cell, and he was able to squeeze through. He hadn't been able to fit before, but he had lost weight thanks to starvation in the dungeon and all the circle walks and all that stuff. But now, just not to get you confused, he tried to, he was able to get out of the window at Oregon State Penitentiary, but not at Salem.
Okay.
But he used a bucket handle as a grappling hook and one of his makeshift ropes and was able to scale the wall with it. Apparently, they made bucket handles back then a lot more durable than they do now.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm thinking like a 5-gallon bucket that's just a fucking wire.
Yeah.
But
and it's not even like, it's like, what is it? It's probably like aluminum or tin or something. It's nothing that's even strong enough.
I mean, I've carried a full 5-gallon bucket before, brand new, still sealed and everything, and had the freaking, the hook that hooks it into the bucket pop off.
Yeah. Dude, they don't even make, I mean, nowadays our handles are all plastic too. Anyway, so it doesn't even.
Oh, yeah, true. That's true. They are. He went to Tangent, which was the nearest town. It's probably the same town that Hooker went to. Yeah. Hooker went on a tangent.
Hooker went on a tangent.
He broke into a house and he stole some clothes and a pistol. And then he went to a train station, but a cop there had recognized him because of, he was on freshly printed wanted posters. And Carl Panzram was a lot of things, but one thing that he wasn't was a good shot.
Oh no.
Carl and the cop, they shot at each other, back and forth with all the bullets missing, and that just reminded me of the William Cottrell case.
Yeah, right.
But the cop had, they both emptied their guns, like stormtroopers, pew pew pew. But neither one of them hit each other. But the cop had two guns on him, and he had emptied the first one, and then he went for the other. When he went for the other one, Carl pounced on him, and started kicking the shit out of him. But at that time, lots of other cops had showed up to help, and they subdued Carl. And as they were like wrestling him in, he kicked the window out of one of the police cars, and he bit the crap out of one of the officer's hands to where the officer needed stitches.
Oh.
And but still, I mean, he fought hard, but they subdued him, and he was dragged back to Salem, and he was thrown into solitary once again, probably in the dungeon, but it didn't say. He likes the dungeon.
Yeah.
Like Brer Rabbit in the Briar Patch. I like the Briar Patch. I was born and raised in the Briar Patch.
All right.
I don't think we're allowed to reference that movie anymore, are we?
That part is all right, I guess.
Yeah.
The other parts you can.
I won't say it. But
well, I mean, we know what we're talking about. It is what it is.
Yeah. But John Minto had started building a smaller prison inside the walls of this prison. And it was for Carl specifically and the other
prison inception
and the other like really bad inmates. He called it the bullpen.
The bullpen. Anyway.
So yeah, once again with the names, the bullpen.
The bullpen, yep. Everything gets a crazy name.
Yep. But one of the main atrocities for the bullpen was something where they wouldn't be able to run off or whatever. There was one way in, one way out, and everything. And the way I'm picturing is it didn't have a roof on it. It was just like four walls,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that basically, I mean, you want that for shock factor, so the inmates can, that are like on upper floors can look in and see what's happening to the people that are in the bullpen. That's just what I'm picturing. It doesn't specify.
All right.
But that's what I'm picturing, and that would make sense. And why put a roof on it? It's just extra money, and the Mentos are all about the money,
right?
So
the fresh makers,
yeah.
Even though it's spelled different,
yeah,
that's fine.
But a chalk circle was drawn on the floor, and every prisoner that was in the bullpen was required to walk circles around inside the chalk circle for 14 hours a day.
Oh, geez.
No food break, no bathroom break, no nothing. And and if they got out of it, they'd be shot.
They'd be shot,
killed. Yeah,
that's all right. That's hardcore, but okay.
Several prisoners were killed. Like and it wasn't just if they walked out of it's like if they fell down, like out of pure exhaustion, bam. And that's another reason why I think that it probably didn't have a roof on it, because it probably had guards like up on a second level or something like that, just watching.
Yeah, probably. It makes sense.
Several prisoners were killed, but not Carl. Not Carl. He did it. You were not going to break Carl.
Nope, not at all.
But news of this abuse got to the governor, and Minto was relieved of his duties. He should have been brought up on charges, but at least they got rid of him.
Well, I guess every cloud has a silver lining, I suppose.
Yeah. Now enter a new warden, Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy.
That's great. Charlie Murphy shows up.
He was the exact opposite of the Minto brothers. He was a humanitarian, and he believed that prisoners being tormented actually hardened them, didn't reform them. And He's not wrong.
No, not at all.
I mean, he abolished the bullpen and corporal punishment as well as solitary confinement unless it was for the inmate's own protection. Like if he had somebody after him.
Yeah.
Or if he was like trying to kill himself or something like that, you know?
Like they do now a lot.
Right. Yeah. So this guy was ahead of his time, basically.
Right on.
You know, he even made sure that there was enough food and medical treatment for everybody. Yeah. So I was like, this is a good dude, you know?
Yeah.
He even brought the pay back, you know, the inmate pay. He even brought that back and even increased it was more than what they were making before Minto took, you know, was cut it by 2/3. They're making more than they were before now. And he even brought in new jobs, you know, like new ways for prisoners to make money. This is a genuinely good dude, you know, but
compared to everybody else we've talked about in this story so far.
I think he's the only good person in this story so far.
Yeah. But anyway.
But he may have actually been the first warden ever to use the Pinky Promise release program.
The Pinky Promise release program.
Half Pint episode, Lester Eubanks.
Yes.
That was a good one. I think that's my favorite Half Pint so far.
Yeah.
And we'll have more of those coming at some point. I'm not going to try and schedule those. We'll just do them when we do them.
Yeah.
But they're fun to do, though. They are definitely fun to do.
Indeed they are.
But all of the violence in the prison went away, leaving Carl as the only troublemaker. And so,
all right.
So Murphy called him to his office for a one-on-one, you know, saying that Carl was the worst prisoner that was there, and he wanted to come to an Understanding. Carl told Charlie Murphy to fuck off.
You don't tell Charlie Murphy to fuck off.
Carl told Charlie Murphy to fuck off.
Yeah, I bet that didn't end well for him.
But he says, you know, just you treating me soft isn't going to make me soft.
Right.
I'm going to make your life a living hell.
Of course.
I'm going to fight you like I did the Mentos and any other overzealous warden or whatever. I'm just.
Yep. You ain't no different than nobody else. Just because you're being nice to everybody in here don't mean.
But this is where the Pinky Promise release program comes in. And Murphy says, if you promise to return by dinner, then tomorrow I'll open the gate for you and as long as you promise to come back.
Okay.
Carl couldn't believe his ears.
I would think not.
He's like, okay. Here's my pinky. Pinky promise. Pinky swear.
Jesus.
Of all the episodes for the Pinky Promise release program to make its second appearance on this podcast.
I know, right?
It's this one. You wouldn't think anybody would let Panzram out.
No.
But the next day, Murphy kept his promise. Carl could do whatever the hell he wanted, as long as he was back by dinner time. So he headed to the train station. And he was planning on jumping on the first train that he saw. But he did kind of have a conscience.
Say what?
He did kind of have a conscience. He's like, this is the first time anybody in my life has ever trusted me.
Okay, yeah. All right.
It's like fucking Anakin at the end of Return of the Jedi. Or Darth Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
There's good in him. But don't put a knife in that one because it doesn't last very long.
Oh damn! Because the way that was going, I was ready, dude. My finger was on the button. I was ready to push. But all right, fine. I won't put a knife in it.
I swear to God, this next part you're gonna think I'm setting you up for something, but I'm not. This is all true. It's all true. I mean, okay. But he joined the prison baseball team, even the marching band. The prison he put a marching band and a baseball team. Charlie Murphy did, and he wasn't very good at either of them, which frustrated Carl. But Murphy wasn't giving up. I must help these. I must get through to these kids. What movie was that? That was.
I don't know, but
how can I get to these kids? Whatever. It don't matter. Murphy even let Carl go to bars. As long as he was back by dinner time.
What?
And it was there when, it's like there was like this bar that he went to. It was, I guess it was probably the closest one to the prison. But, there was like a health station or a hospital or something like that. And the nurses would all go there after they got off work.
Oh.
And Carl got frisky with some of the with some of the nurses. So, yeah. Like I said, he's been with more than one woman.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, he was just doing his thing. And
all the while still going back to prison at dinner time.
Yep. Now, if I hadn't prefaced that by saying, you're going to think I'm setting you up, would you have thought that I was setting you up?
Yeah, probably. Okay, the first time I get it, he was like, man, no one's ever trusted me before. So I'm going to go back. And then the next time he'd be like, hey, you fucked up for trusting me. I'm out.
Yeah, that's what everybody expects when they hear this story for the first time.
I mean, especially for someone like this guy that hates everything and everyone and wants to kill everything and everyone.
But he had a little bit of a conscience on Charlie Murphy. You know?
I mean, well, it's cool. I mean, it sucks because it makes me want to root for him even more now.
But the scorpion and the frog story, the parable of the scorpion and the frog, it's in his nature.
It's in his nature.
You knew that was coming.
Oh yeah.
That's why I brought up the Pinky Promise release program, because it never works.
Nope.
But it's been on this podcast twice and it hasn't worked one single time. It did for a while with Carl.
Yeah, that amazes me that he actually stuck with it that long. I mean, that's good for him.
So, but everything was good and everything. Carl was doing. He was holding up his end of the deal and everything coming back and everything until Murphy made a mistake.
Uh-oh.
No, he did not try to rape Carl. I know that's where your mind went.
That was part of it because there is always that, that's happened before.
Right.
There's precedence for thinking like that. So
yeah, I know, but what had happened was Murphy was talking to Carl and he made the mistake of reminding Carl that he still had 4 years left on his sentence.
Oh, okay.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
So one day he was just sitting there at the bar, just thinking, he's just like, I'm not going to go back to prison. I'm not for 4 years. So he bounced and the Pinky Promise release program was once again, was broken. He escaped and he was he was caught and brought back, and once he got back into prison and everything, and then he kind of started like rebelling again, like reverting back to, being the badass and all that stuff. And of course, at that point, the Pinky Promise release program was rescinded to him. So he escaped.
Of course he did.
Yeah. He he repeated his escape plan with the MacGyver rope and the bucket handles.
The grappling hook. Yeah.
Scaled the walls. And he got over the wall. The guards saw him doing it.
Right.
And they opened fire, and I swear, stormtroopers. Nobody shot him. Nobody hit him.
They couldn't hit him.
No. It said that 200 rounds have been fired. Not one of them hit Carl. Or maybe they did, and they just bounced off.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus. Like, seriously, dude. I mean, this guy is like indestructible, damn near. It's like they probably hit him, a bunch, and he just shook it off.
Yeah. He ran into the woods and disappeared, and while he was in the woods, he probably just popped them out like pimples. There's a bullet. There's a bullet. There's a bullet.
Right? And just kept on going.
Yep. So as a result of that, what do you think happened to Murphy?
Oh, I'm going to have to assume that he got fired.
He got fired. And all of the nice rule changes that he had made were stripped away and everything. And Salem was once again the hellhole that it was known to be. But Carl was gone. And at the whole time, Murphy's just going to be like, you don't break the Pinky Promise. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that. Oh, gee, yeah. But,
But go listen to the after you're done listening to this one, go listen to the Lester Eubanks Half Pint episode. I think this was the first one that we did. The first Half Pint episode. I think it was.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, the Pinky and our old buddy Dick Darwin makes his second appearance on that one.
Dick Darwin. Corn stash cop from Dallas.
Dick Darwin here, Dallas detective.
Porn stash having, laser suit wearing motherfucker.
10-gallon cowboy hat.
And he probably got horns on the hood of his Cadillac Eldorado.
Of course he does.
Anyway.
So Carl used many aliases, during his time. I mean, he served time at probably, the Wikipedia has a list. I'm not going to name them all, but he served time at like probably 30 different jails or prisons or whatever. But he used many aliases. My favorite one was Jefferson Davis.
Jefferson Davis. Jefferson Davis, speaking of fucking cow horns on a hood of a Cadillac.
Jefferson Davis didn't have a Cadillac.
No, but Jefferson Davis hogged, dude, in the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, shit. Damn. When you said it the first time, I pictured that, and then I forgot that his name was Jefferson Davis Hogg.
Yep, J.D. Hogg. Jefferson Davis Hogg.
Yeah, I forgot about that. God, I haven't. That's worth a rewatch, except for the 5th season.
Well, if you can find it anywhere.
Yeah. What? It's not on Netflix or anything? Whatever.
No, it's not.
Oh,
anywhere.
That's right. It's been canceled. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because of a certain flag.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But he after leaving Salem, he changed his appearance. He shaved his facial hair off and everything, did his hair a different way. But still, he's still, he's like taller than me, and weighed about 2 of me, and it was pure muscle. So even if he changed his appearance, he's still going to stick out like a sore fucking thumb.
Yeah, no shit.
And by the way, if you haven't been listening long enough to know how tall I'm 6'3".
Yep.
He was 6'5".
Bill's easy to find in a room.
Yeah. So, but, you know, each time that he was arrested, he would come up with a new alias. So he had as many arrests, you know, as many aliases as he did, you know, jails or prisons that he stayed in.
Right on.
He was arrested frequently for arson, robbery, and vandalism. And, you know, if it was more than a month, if the sentence was more than a month, he'd just escape.
Right.
You couldn't hold him. If it was less than a month, you'd just say, fuck it.
So I got somewhere to sleep.
You just relax for a little while.
Right.
Get some, you know.
3 hots, a cot, and all the sex you don't want.
Right. Well, he was the one dishing out the sex that nobody wanted.
Oh, I'm sure, but you know what I mean.
But he also learned how to manipulate people.
Okay.
That makes him even more dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Once after a 3-week stay in Rusk, Texas, Carl went on a major bender when he got out. And then he decided that he wanted to be in the military again.
Okay.
But not the U.S. military. He wanted to join the Mexican military.
Oh.
Because they were still involved in, like, you know, wars and everything with Native Americans and on the Mexico side of the border.
Yeah.
You know. So, you know, he still wants to kill Indians. But he always gets these bright ideas when he's drunk. So he hops on a southbound train, but he spotted a man that looked interesting. This was an oil worker, and he was carrying a envelope that was thick full of cash. Yeah, he had just gotten paid. He was an oil worker.
Yeah.
So he jumped on the train, but as soon as he saw that guy, he jumped back off of it, and he grabbed the man off the street, and he raped and robbed, you know, the man. But the man wasn't giving up the money or the ass.
Oh, all right.
He was resisting, and he was fighting Carl. And, you know, it's like Carl was just like, you know, it's like he wasn't making any headway, but Carl was kind of like dumbfounded. He was just like, what?
Yeah.
You're actually fighting me?
This never happened before.
Holy crap. But so Carl got particularly brutal with him. I mean, he ripped his clothes off, and as he was raping me, he ground his face into the fucking gravel and everything, like held him down and all that stuff. He choked the man out during the assault, and the man died.
Oh.
Carl had literally fucked him to death.
Damn. All right.
And the realization that he had killed this man brought a new rush to Carl, and he fucking loved it. And this was the first murder that Carl admits to. But and that's why I say that I was on the fence. It's like, why would he lie?
Right.
You know, he had no reason to lie. He confessed to over 100 murders. So why would he lie about when he actually started killing? So I'm not sure if he, you know, it's just like we always say, oh, I'm sure he had killed more at this point, but I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure on this one, because he particularly loved the rush that he got off of this guy. And it was, you know, for him, it was kind of like, you know, losing your virginity as a teenager.
Yeah. And, you know, and if he'd done something like that before, it wouldn't have been the same. You know what I mean?
Right. So
maybe, well, you know, I'm sure he fucking, you know, some of the hobos he threw off the moving train probably died, but that's
right. But that's
know.
that's not an actual murder where you're
story.
Physically killing, you know, like physically killing them or whatever.
It's like, dude, I fall off trains all the time. I never died before.
So, okay, we'll go with that. He killed before, but not intending. Just get the fuck off. Get off my train.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, depending on
And if they fell and broke their neck when they landed or whatever, but nobody ever knew about it.
Yeah.
But this one was the first one that he had physically committed the act of murder with his bare hands and his dick.
His dick.
But
oh Jesus.
So yeah, we'll go with that. He had done it before, like unintentionally.
I mean, yeah, he just wanted the bums off his train, and
right.
Some of them landed on their heads and broke their necks or backs or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway.
So after this rush, Carl decided that he didn't need to join the Mexican army after all. So he instead went to a Mexican radio station and became a DJ. And then he famously said, "I'm on a Mexican radio, whoa." And no, that didn't happen. I just made that up.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody could tell you're making that up.
But so after this rush, he actually bought a train ticket back east because he had just robbed this guy with like a freaking wad of money. So he's just like, I'm going to go east.
And he actually rode a train like you're supposed to?
He actually rode a train like you're supposed to.
He didn't hop in a boxcar?
Yeah, and he probably got some good sleep while he was there,
Yeah.
But, he decided to head east, and, he was going to New York.
New York?
He's like, if I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere.
Anywhere.
But, he decided it was time to give real revenge to humanity for robbing him of his humanity. And now we get to the crazy part of it.
All right.
So he went to New York City.
Yep. New York City.
Get a rope.
Get a rope.
And he went to the port there. There were British ships there. Carl figured that England would be a recurring enemy after the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812. So,
and it's over 100 years later now, and it's just not been a thing. But okay.
So he figured that he would just like bomb the British ships and make it look like it was a military operation to kick off another war between the United States and England.
Oh Jesus! So not only is he just out killing? Well, not whatever. He wants to start a fucking war now. Holy shit! Well, I guess that's the best way to kill as many people as possible. Well, I mean, not necessarily for him, but
no, he came up with a better idea.
Oh, did he? Oh, all right.
Yeah, but he was drinking and he came up with yet another plan.
Yes, all your best ideas come when we're drinking.
Yeah, he was going to poison the city's reservoir and take out half the city before anybody knew what had happened.
Okay. That sounds like a Batman plot, but all right.
But then he ran out of drinking money, and so the New Yorkers were spared.
Half the city gets spared because man runs out of drinking money.
Yeah. So the next day he went to a Navy ship that was docked there, and he was just like, and he's drunk at this point, and he's demanding they recruit him. But he's not like sloppy, stupid drunk or whatever. He's at that point to where, like, yay! And if you're feeling patriotic, you're going to be like really patriotic. Like, yeah! America!
America! Fuck yeah!
Coming again to see the motherfucker day, yeah! Carl Panzram may have wrote those lyrics to that song. No, he didn't. But
anyway.
But the captain actually hired him as a civilian worker because of his enthusiasm and his build. But the captain had, just like, okay, well, just come on with us, help out and everything, and we'll get you recruited. So And he was serious. He gave Carl in advance on a week's pay.
All right.
Which Carl took to the bars that night.
Of course.
And spent every bit of it. The next morning he showed up still drunk and reeking of alcohol, staggering, slurring and everything, and the captain told him to fuck off. So Carl was broke again and was coming up with more ways to spread chaos and savagery. So Carl then set his sights on the man responsible for all of the hell that he had been through. The man who had set it all in motion, starting with his court-martial. Take a guess.
Oh, what, is he president now, Taft?
Well, he's not president now. His presidency has already come and gone, but yes.
Oh, okay. So former President Taft.
Right. Now he was a professor at Yale. That would be really fucking cool to go to a university and sit under a former president. I don't care who the president is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, former President William Howard Taft. He was the one who sentenced Carl to Leavenworth, and, you know, he had a mansion in New Haven, Connecticut. Carl found out where it was. He broke into his home when nobody was there. He trashed it, and he stole anything that he could of valuable, the value, anything that he could carry. Lots of jewelry, bonds, cash, and a .45 caliber pistol that was Taft's prized possession.
Oh.
And Carl, even back then, they still had ways of pinning a gun to a murder or whatever.
Yeah.
Even back then, they still had the forensic ability to do that. So, whenever Carl killed somebody with that gun, it would, Taft would know about it.
Right.
And they'd be like, Mr. President, sir, your gun killed somebody else. So he and his major score headed to a train station, and he was out of Connecticut before the robbery was even discovered. He was gonna burn the place down, but it was daylight by the time he got finished trashing the place. He was just like, okay, it's just kind of nonchalantly.
Can't see the fires far during the day.
Right. So he sold all of the bonds and jewelry, and if sold properly, he would have gotten about $10,000 total back in 1917 money, which is a shitload of money. But he did get $3,000 and a box of bullets, and $3,000 back then was still a shitload of money.
Yeah.
His current alias at the time was John O'Leary.
John O'Leary, okay.
And he actually purchased a small yacht. And when I say yacht, I mean like a decked out sailboat.
Right.
He didn't crash this one.
He didn't crash this one.
He learned how to steer it. He learned, like I said, this guy's borderline genius level.
Yeah.
And, so he would sneak up on the larger lots. Lots.
Lots.
Damn it!
Oh, yeah, that's so good.
He would sneak up. He would sneak up to the larger yachts that were anchored and everything at night, and he would like very quietly get in there, rob them, and then get away. And it's a sailboat, doesn't have a motor and everything. So, these robberies. He docked back in New Haven, Connecticut, because he a little bit of narcissism. He still wanted to, he really wanted to catch a glimpse of Taft.
Right.
Maybe flick him off. But these robberies that he had been doing on these larger yachts have gotten him a lot more money, lots of jewelry, and even liquor. He was living the good life at that point because he wasn't getting caught.
Right.
And but he got bored.
As you do.
So he docked in the Bronx, and then he went into Manhattan to the speakeasies that were there. This is prior to This is prior to, Tony Marino and Michael Malloy. This is like several years before that started, probably about 10 years before that started. So, I mean, I really wish there was I wish there was information that tied Carl Panzram to the Michael Malloy story.
Right? How fucking great would that be?
Yeah, no kidding. Like, he just happened to be there. No, he wouldn't have been part of the murder trust. He would have just...
He would have been drinking in marinas and... Yeah,
he would have tough Tony.
Yeah, right? Oh, and speaking of what we were just talking about, like, if he sold the shit right, he would have got like 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
10 grand in 1917 or whenever this is happening today is like almost $240,000.
Yeah, he could have retired.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, he's still in his probably late 20s at this point, mid to late 20s at this point.
Yep.
So he began getting men to come on and work his yacht. And for them, it was an easy gig because Carl would keep them drunk and everything. And then he would rape and kill them and toss them overboard, weighted down. But he paid them really well, like really well. Of course, because he's going to get it all back.
Yeah, because he's taking it all back. That's fucking great. I mean, that's not great.
How much do you usually get for a berth like this?
I usually get about $20 a week.
All right, I'll give you 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that would be probably like $500 a week now or whatever, $40, whatever.
Ooh,
I don't know.
like that. I don't know.
But
I can look it up.
Nah, don't worry about it.
No, but you got me wanting to.
I'm not far off.
All right, we're sticking with 1917, right? So $40 in 1917.
No, this point we're probably at 1920.
Is $959.
So yeah.
All right, well we'll do 1920 and see what happens. Calculate. Oh, in 1920 it's only $614.
Inflation. Damn.
Yeah, it's a bitch. Anyway, moving on.
So but all of their money was conveniently left behind, and he was get it all back. So he could offer them $100 a week back then. You don't need to look that up because it would be.
I'm not going to.
Yeah,
we're good. We're good.
But but he did this a lot. But people started noticing that he was always changing, deckhands, and started asking questions.
Yeah.
So Carl decided it was time to bounce, and he had been working City Island, which is I'm not sure exactly where it is, but it's outside of the the greater New York City area.
Really? There's two places in this episode that you haven't been? This is...
You can't drive a semi to an island.
You know what I mean. It's just... Yeah. Every time we do an episode, Bill talks about a place. Like, I've been there. I've driven through that place. I've been there. And I'm like, in this one, there's two places that Bill hasn't been to. I'm like, this is friggin' amazing.
It's an island, only accessible by boat. And they didn't have helicopters back then. And the barges that they had back then.
I beg to differ.
Oh, yeah, they did, because we're getting close to World War I at this point.
I believe Sikorsky invented the helicopter. Actually, no,
actually, World War I is going on at this point.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So.
Anyway.
But so he went to Manhattan and he found two guys that were willing to not only work the boat, but also break the law.
Oh.
So they robbed every yacht that they could, and he was paying them. Once again, he's just shelling out the money. I'll show you the money.
So they're pirates now.
They're pirates. My next line was literally, it's like, it was now a pirate ship.
Damn right, dude. Fuck yeah. So
they went to Long Beach Island near Atlantic City. where Carl had actually planned on raping and killing the two guys, but a massive storm came in, and it doesn't specify if it was just a freak storm or if it was actually a hurricane. I'm assuming it was a hurricane. But but his yacht was smashed on the rocks. But that wasn't through any fault of his own. That was just fucking Mother Nature and her fury.
Yeah, Mother Nature went, dude, you ain't supposed to be driving a boat this long.
Right.
We know what you did with the last one.
Yeah. It's the ghost of the first boat.
The ghost of the first boat. I love it.
But all of his loot and, that yacht was his prized possession. He loved that thing. And he bought it legitimately. He didn't steal that yacht.
That's the thing. Yeah, he actually bought it.
He actually bought that. But all of the money that he had, all the jewelry that he had, his prized possession, the boat, his main prized possession. He has another prized possession. I'm pretty sure you can guess what that is. President Taft's pistol.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Actually I was going to say that.
Okay. I'll give you credit.
I was, because it was Taft's prized possession. So
right.
It would make sense that it would be his as well.
Right.
And plus, every time he kills somebody with it, Taft gets a fucking knock on the door going, hey, your gun killed somebody again.
And then Taft's like, we'll find the fucker that did it. He stole it from me along with all my bonds and my wife's jewelry and trashed my house and all that stuff. Find the fucker.
Why don't you call the Peckerton detectives and have them track him down?
Or Dallas detective. Darwin.
Dick Darwin wasn't around then.
No.
His grandfather might have been. But...
Yeah. So,
anyway.
All three men survived, but the two crewmen hit the land before he did. And it's not clear why, but they hauled ass. Maybe they found out about Carl's true intentions, or maybe they just went somewhere to find another boat to work because, the boat we were working is now in the bottom of the harbor.
Yeah.
So we still got to eat. So let's go.
But
regardless, they hauled ass. And
good for them.
Yeah. It saved their lives.
Unbeknownst to them, it saved their lives.
Yeah.
Or maybe beknownst to them. Maybe that is why they hauled ass.
Yeah. It's one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they found like blood or something in one of the rooms on the yacht or whatever. And be like, okay, this guy.
Or maybe Carl was just being Carl and saying, I hate everybody. I'm going to kill everybody.
Yeah, it could be. But.
Or they figured out who he was. You know what I mean? It could be anything. Who knows?
We did some research and we just discovered that this is Jefferson Davis.
Well, these guys that he picked up to be his pirate buddies were obviously into illegal shit to begin with, so they've probably been in jail a time or two, and
true. But at this point, Carl hadn't done any time in New York.
Well, who says they're from New York? Does it say they were actually from New York?
He recruited them in New York,
but that doesn't mean they're from there.
Yeah, they could have seen a poster,
or they could have heard about this gigantic fucking dude that can't be killed, and
yeah.
And it took. Well, they were like, well, all right, he's not trying to kill us yet. We're making some pretty good money. We'll just ditch as soon as we can.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, I'm theorizing here.
Yeah, any one of them works. Any of them works.
Yep.
But these guys aren't exactly around anymore for an interview.
Right.
Unless we want to get those people that contacted Danny Rolling. No. So Carl, he's pissed off about losing everything. He went on a robbing, raping, and killing spree. And one thing that wasn't lost during the shipwreck was President Taft's gun, and it got lots of work. And that's where we're going to wrap up part 2.
All right.
So
leaving it on a cliffhanger.
That was a crazy one. That was
yeah.
That was nuts. And it gets even Well, we get to the really bad stuff that Carl did in part 3. It's like the really, really horrific shit in part 3.
All right.
So be ready.
I'm ready. I'm toughening up.
But what do you think? What do you think about this story so far? This is why I love doing this podcast with you. I know all of these stories going into it.
Yeah.
But
and
you
I
don't. And you've never really, I mean, you kind of like had an interest in true crime, but never really got into it until
we started doing this.
Right. So.
No, dude, I mean, it's a good story. I mean, like you said, like right now we're kind of feeling bad for him, up until the last bit of this episode.
Right.
You know, you feel bad for him because, I mean, dude, this guy, every fucking person in this guy's life, more or less, has gone out of their way to cause him physical, mental, emotional fucking trauma. Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, dude, yeah, you know, you side with him. I mean, dude, I was hashtag Carl there until, I mean, even though I know what's going to happen and that's going to change, but you know, for these first 2 episodes, I've been hashtag Carl. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta be, and it's just, at this point, it's just like, how can you blame him? He's killed one person.
Yeah.
Not that that's okay or anything, but still, he's only killed one person at this point. And,
well, didn't you say that he was killing the deckhands? He was raping and killing the deckhands. So, I mean, that had to be quite a few.
Well, yeah, but nothing was ever proven on that. That's just stuff that there are a lot of similarities between him and Pee Wee Gaskins.
Okay, I got you.
He confessed to a lot of stuff that wasn't really verifiable, although his are more likely to have happened than Pee Wee's coastal killings.
Yeah, the coastal killings.
But still, it's just like he confessed to a lot that they're not exactly sure that he actually committed.
All right. Well, okay.
So,
but anyway, I mean, you know what I mean.
Damn it. You asshole. I forgot what I was going to say. God. Anyway. Thanks for listening, everybody. We really appreciate the hell out of it. Just our website is ckcbpodcast.com. Check us out there. You'll find links to everything, all of our socials. We have a Discord page. We have a Patreon page. We still don't have any Patreon followers, but if you if you're our first subscriber, you will get a CKCB t-shirt, just like the ones that we were wearing around Crimecon, which are on our socials. You'll see us on pictures of that on our socials and everything.
Yep.
And our first Patreon subscriber will get one of those. And you know,
I mean, not the ones that we wore, unless that's what you really want. I mean,
well, they cost. Those will cost you.
The ones that we wore at Crimecon, yeah.
Yeah. But
everything's negotiable.
But our first Patreon subscriber will get a free t-shirt. And we're having a great time doing this. I'm really enjoying this story and everything, and I think I think that moving forward you're gonna see even deeper dives from us. You're gonna see more 2-part episodes from us, maybe even 3 parts or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just more interesting this way. I could, like, Pee Wee, when we were at Crimecon, hanging out with, True Crime Ken, I was talking to the operator, and I was talking specifically about the Pee Wee. No, I was talking to Kent.
Yeah, you were talking to Ken about that.
Yeah, specifically the Pee Wee Gaskins episode. They're currently doing a 4-part series on Pee Wee Gaskins. Ours was 1 episode, and it's just like I could have done that, but I was content to have like an almost 2-hour-long episode.
Right.
Because at the time we didn't like doing 2-part episodes. So it's just like I robbed you guys of all the content, and I apologize. But just know that we're making it up for this, and this is the way we're going to do things moving forward.
Yeah, pretty much everything we said we weren't going to do at the beginning of this little adventure we've been on, we're doing now. So it's all good.
Yeah. Multiple part episodes, guests on the show. I mean, everything that we said that we weren't going to do, we're now doing, but that's just because we're growing as a podcast.
I didn't mean to hit that again. That was my fault. My bad.
And yeah, I saw your eyes get wide when you did that. But
I know. I was like, don't do it.
So yeah, it's we want this podcast to be among the elite, and I think if we keep doing things like we're doing this Panzram episode, I think we're going to get there.
Absolutely.
A lot sooner than we would have normally. If we had just been sugarcoating, it's just, it's like a 2 hour, we released a 2 hour episode on Pee Wee Gaskins that could have easily been 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Hell, this episode had fewer pages than part 1, but it's like 30 minutes longer than part 1.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you for listening. Just keep doing it. Just 5-star, 5-star reviews. Hit us up on Apple. Give us a nice review and everything. And we appreciate the hell out of it. And until next week for part 3, later.
Cheers, everybody.